So it's a new year, which means it is time for another community video. This is the 700th community video, and as you guys know, these are some of my favorite videos to make. If you're new here, a community video is where I ask you guys to send me a whole bunch of questions and whatnot, and I answer them right here in a video. There were a ton of questions as usual, so there will be a part 2. If you do watch this channel somewhat regularly, I'd really appreciate it if you sub to the channel, as it really helps me out. And if you're not subbed for some reason, watch your back. Now let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Alright, starting things off. Ascendant comes in short and sweet with, why does Jorm exist? Okay, Jorm may not be the most popular hero, but I believe if he gets some serious work and UB seriously tries to make him more healthy for the game, he'd be a nice addition to the roster. I don't dislike his fashion or weapons or general design or style. They're new to the game and it fits the character that UB created, and I do like his voice lines and the way he feels while attacking. And I mean, he's got a hammer, something people wanted since the game's release. Sure, he could have been different, but I think we could say that about a lot of the heroes that have been released post-launch. As much as I don't really enjoy fighting Jorm, I still feel like there's time to better this hero. Next up, Sarcastic Skater says, I just started playing, so this might sound stupid, but how do you block, dodge, or parry Gladiator zone? The only thing you can do against a Gladiator zone attack is to dodge it or flip it if you're playing Black Prior. Since you're new, you're more than likely going to have trouble with it and other bashes that come from neutral like Jorm's bash or Tiandi's palm strike, but eventually you'll get used to it. What I like to do when facing a Gladiator and basically any other hero with a bash is to actively prepare myself for it and be ready to dodge it. As if my brain isn't off and I'm dialed in and focused on the game, I don't really have an issue with it. After you dodge the first part, you just set your guard and block the follow-up if you want to be safe, and if you're not sure they'll feint it or not, or if you think they'll go through with it or they run out of stamina from the first part, you can parry it. If you want to be really saucy and you're playing the two heroes I play most, Valkyrie or Shaman, you can punish them with your back dodge stances, if you want to call it that. For Shaman, you can cancel the bash and deflect the follow-up. If you're on Valk, you can cancel the full block stance and go for a pin as well, if you feel like they're going to let it fly. I used to really dislike Gladiator Zone, like really dislike it, because it's just a strong tool that Gladiator has, but after I realized it looks like UB isn't going to do anything with the zone, I've just come to accept it. It doesn't help that with Haymaker, a 600 millisecond bash that also works as a great option select does 30 damage. Pair that with a 20 damage toe stab with Haymaker that guarantees a teammate's heavy and feeds very little revenge, and he can be frustrating to go up against if in the right hands, but this video isn't about that. Toxic TV asked a question as well. If you haven't checked out Toxic's channel yet, I highly advise you do. He's very entertaining. He says, do you think we'll see more active balancing in year 4 since we're only getting 2 heroes? The difference in hero effectiveness between bad heroes and good heroes is still depressingly huge. Yes, I do think so, or we better at least. I talked about this when discussing the backlash against year 4. If we don't get a lot of work done between that massive 6-month gap, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm okay with what we're used to, you know, regular old patches where heroes get tweaks, changes, and bug fixes, but what I really want is for them to heavily utilize the testing grounds. I want them to bust that thing out once a season if they can. If they're not going to do that, I'm afraid that a lot of us will get really bored with the game and not want to play it until the new heroes release, even if we have a battle pass to distract us. And I'm sure that UB has to know that. We're used to the 3-month cycle by now. I liked how year 3 played out when it came to the content release schedule, so next year will be weird, but we'll find out what they plan on doing within a few weeks here, so I'm not going to jump the gun just yet. Next up, Ethan Carter says, if in the future we are to receive a For Honor sequel, how would you like to see the heroes handled? Would you suggest that UB ports all the current heroes to the sequel with their current kits and doing some balance work? Or would you prefer the cast getting complete reworks and wholly new kits? Or should the old cast return at all? What about a completely new array of characters? This is something I've talked about with a few friends a couple times, and honestly, I'm okay with whatever route they decide to take if they decide to continue making characters for the game rather than giving us each our own hero and letting us customize our hero the way we want to based on faction, weapon choice, so on and so on. If we did receive another game and they wanted to bring back old heroes, I'd hope that they do so in a way that fits with what the game is and not just copy and paste them into the game, if that makes any sense. I'd love for these heroes to stay true to who they are, but receive upgrades to fit with what I'd assume is a better game with newer mechanics. I'm not sure exactly who I would bring to another game though, if the sequel stayed true to what this game is and what its story is. Personally, I wouldn't take too many heroes over, as I'd like to see new heroes and different styles if possible, so I'd probably bring maybe 4 or 5 of the existing 26 hero roster. It's tough to pick though, because each of these heroes are unique in style and personality, but I'd assume it would be Warden, Kinsei, and Raider, as they are the vanguards, then probably Orochi, and the last one's a toss-up, but I'd put money on Lawbringer. I don't think they'd bring any of the Wulin over, even their vanguard. I would be overjoyed if they decided to bring Centurion and Gladiator on over and created a Roman faction though. I really wanted to see that after season 2 and 3 when those heroes were released, and man, I'd love that. Next up, John DeLiner, who also has a really cool channel that you should check out, and he was one of the first 5 people to grab our new shirts. He says, as far as balance changes go, who do you think should get a tune-up or down after Centurion? Also love the vids, hey thanks. My vote goes to Shinobi. I don't want to dislike Shinobi. I paid for him after all, and I want to enjoy using all the heroes in this game, even if I don't necessarily resonate with their style. I would love for Yubi to take Shinobi into the testing grounds and do something drastic with him. If not Shinobi, I wouldn't mind seeing a polarizing hero like Highlander get some love, or as I said earlier, Jormungandr, even though he just released. I'd even be happy to see Nobushi get some love, but personally, I'd like for it to go to Shinobi. Amir Nazir asks, do you think Lawbringer is secretly a stack of dwarves beneath the armor? No, I actually believe that there is nothing physical inside Lawbringer's armor. It is held up by the spirit of everything that is good and just in Ashfeld. Richard Orozco says, here's an idea. I'm not sure if it's been said yet, but I think there should be a better rating system than the dumb rate this match thing, particularly for duels. After each match, the player can choose how much honor to give to the other one. The more honor you receive, the better chances you'll not run into someone who's like a troll or quits constantly. Mortal Kombat has something similar to this called respect, I believe. I would like to stop running into players that do nothing but emote spam, quit mid-match, or be inactive. If I recall correctly, I think that the rate this match system doesn't actually do anything. I think they mentioned that it was just a relic and that they can't take it out of the game or something like that, but don't quote me on that. Your idea is interesting, but with how the game is right now, I don't think there's a way this could work, or at least it would have like no meaning. I don't believe that there are enough people playing this game for it to actually do anything, and I'm not sure if this would have an effect on matchmaking or not. I really wouldn't want it to. If you've been playing for a while or are high rep or have a pretty high MMR, odds are your matchmaking queues are already ridiculously long. Even if I'm trying to play a brawl or duel nowadays, I've got to wait 5 or 6 minutes for 3 minutes of gameplay. If more people played the game, then maybe, but right now it could probably be manipulated in some way or just have no reason to be there. As of now, if we run into an annoying player, the only thing we can do is deal with it, and if they're emote spamming or something, just beat their ass. Bob the Magic Koala says, would you approve scrapping a whole hero just so the game would be better overall? I would not. I don't think I could just totally delete a hero that's already been introduced whether I like them or not, especially if they're post-launch DLC heroes that people have put money into. I wouldn't even be okay with it for the simple fact that people spent steel on these heroes. I am, however, okay with totally scrapping a hero's playstyle and reworking it from the ground up though. As long as you can rework the hero while keeping true to their identity and making sure that what you're working with makes at least some sense when it comes to the weapon, that's fine. I can't think of any hero in the game right now though where you need to basically throw everything out, like every single part of their kit, as even the more problematic heroes have some sort of redeemable quality. But to answer your question, No, I wouldn't scrap a whole hero, but I am okay with scrapping their moveset as long as you remain true to the hero and allow people to keep their customization at the very least. Anyways, that's all I've got for this video. There are still questions being asked, so of course there will be a part 2 to this video, maybe a part 3 if I see some really juicy ones. If you want to ask one, go to my community page on my channel and ask on the first post you see. I'm working on a sort of a different video at the moment that I'm hoping turns out well, and if you're interested in seeing it when it's ready, feel free to join our Discord, as those are the people that will see it first, and there's also a ton of cool people to talk to in there, so I'll leave a link in the description. And as always, if you like the video, feel free to leave a like and sub if you're new, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.